Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that's constantly moving, vibrating with noise, distractions, chaos. Every day we're thrown into situations that test us, deadlines, disappointments, criticism, uncertainty. And in that storm, there's one question that defines the course of our lives: can you stay calm? You see, the mind is a beautiful servant, but a terrible master. Most people let it run wild. A single harsh word and they spiral. One failure and their confidence collapses. But the rare few, realize something powerful. They understand that the mind, when trained, can be a fortress, a calm, unshakable fortress in the middle of any storm. The calm mind doesn't panic when plans fall apart. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It doesn't react. It responds. Because calmness isn't passivity. It's control. It's clarity. It's knowing who you are when the world tries to tell you otherwise. We are not defined by what happens to us. We are defined by how we respond. When you can pause, take a breath, and choose your reaction, you've already won. That's when you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a creator of outcomes. But let me tell you, calm doesn't come easy. It takes training. It takes discipline. Like an athlete trains their body, you have to train your mind daily, deliberately, with mindfulness, with intention. You sit with your thoughts. You breathe through discomfort. You choose silence when the world screams for noise. And something incredible happens. In stillness, ideas begin to emerge. Solutions surface. You begin to see what others miss. The next move becomes clear. While others panic, you plan. While they react, you rise. Greatness doesn't come from chaos. It comes from the mind that's mastered itself. The world will never stop testing you. But when your mind is calm, no challenge is too great, no moment too big, no dream too far. Train your mind, own your peace, and you'll own your future. The mind is a tool. Let's start with a simple truth. Your mind is not you. It's a tool. It's like fire, controlled. It can cook your food, warm your home, and power great cities. But unchecked, it can burn your world to the ground. And the problem? Most people have forgotten that they hold the match. We've become slaves to our thoughts. One negative comment, one setback, 1 ounce of doubt, and suddenly our minds spiral into overdrive. We overthink, we panic, we believe every story our mind tells us. Even the lies. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. It's too hard. These are not facts. These are fears. And fears are just thoughts that have been repeated so many times, we mistake them for truth. But here's the key. Your mind was designed to serve you, not to rule you. It's a machine. It learns from what you feed it. Feed it doubt, it will multiply it. Feed it strength, it will build it. The mind is neutral. It's the programming that matters. Now imagine this. You wake up in the morning and your phone doesn't work. The car won't start. Your inbox is flooded. You're late. Most people would go straight into frustration, anger, maybe even despair. Why? Because their mind is reacting on autopilot. It's firing off old patterns. It's not thinking, it's remembering, and that's dangerous. Because when the mind is untrained, it runs the show. It makes decisions based on fear, not logic, on emotion, not purpose. But when you take control, when you remind your mind who's in charge, everything changes. You don't react, you respond. You stop being controlled by your circumstances and start creating your outcomes. Think about the most powerful leaders, creators, innovators you've ever seen. Do you think they reached greatness because their lives were calm and easy? No. They thrived in pressure because they trained their minds not to panic. They built a relationship with discomfort. They understood the mind's role to be a tool for solving problems, not creating them. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them, watching them come and go without letting them take the wheel. When you see your thoughts as clouds passing by, not the sky itself, you realize something freeing. You are the observer, not the storm. But it takes awareness. It takes asking, is this thought useful? Is it moving me forward? If not, you let it go. You replace it. You retrain your inner voice to be an ally, not a critic. You shift from reacting to reflecting, from chaos to clarity. Because the person who commands their mind doesn't just survive in this world, they lead it, they shape it, they rise above the noise, not because the noise is gone, but because they've turned down the volume inside. Your mind is your greatest asset, but only when you choose to master it. Train it, shape it, make it your ally. And watch how the world starts to respond to the power you carry within. Calmness is a superpower. Let's get one thing clear. Calmness is not weakness. It's not passivity. It's not silence or inaction. Calmness, true inner calm, is one of the rarest, most powerful traits a human being can possess. In a world addicted to urgency, drama, and noise, calmness is rebellion. It's strength. It's control. It's the ultimate superpower. Think about the last time you were overwhelmed. Maybe someone insulted you, a deal slipped through your fingers, or life just didn't go your way. What happened? If you're like most people, your mind exploded into reaction mode. Words you didn't mean, decisions you regret, stress that lingered for days. And in that moment, your power gone, your energy wasted, your direction lost in emotional fog. But now imagine someone who stands in that exact same moment and doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't fight the chaos, but doesn't let it control them either. They pause, they breathe, they listen, they choose their response. That is calmness. And that is mastery. Because calmness isn't just about looking cool under pressure. It's about staying clear while the world burns around you. When everyone else is panicking, the calm person becomes the anchor, the leader. The difference between collapse and composure. There's a reason pilots are trained to speak in that steady tone, even during emergency landing. There's a reason elite athletes breathe deeply in the final seconds of a championship game. Calmness is how they control the storm, even when it's roaring in their ears. Let me tell you something. In business, in relationships, in your personal battles, calmness will elevate you. It will earn you respect. It will give you the edge. Because the one who is calm sees more, thinks sharper, acts with purpose, not pressure. And that makes all the difference. When you're calm, you're not just reacting, you're calculating, you're leading. You're tuning into the frequency that others can't even hear through the noise. And in those moments, you don't just survive, you stand out. But calmness doesn't happen by accident. It's trained, it's earned. It's the result of countless small decisions to not let life pull you out of alignment. It comes from knowing that your energy is precious and you will not waste it on every little inconvenience or This is what separates the average from the extraordinary. The ability to stay grounded when everything is trying to shake you. The strength to hold your inner peace like a fortress. The power to pause when your ego is screaming to attack. You want to rise in life? You want to be the person people turn to when things go sideways? Then learn this. Stay calm. Not because it's easy, but because it gives you control. Not because it looks good, but because it works. In the battlefield of life, the calmest warrior often wins, not by force, but by focus. Not by aggression, but by alignment. So start training your calm like a muscle. Build it through breath, through awareness, through intention. And when the storm comes, and it will, you'll smile, you'll breathe, and you'll walk right through it with power in your step. Because when you are calm, truly calm, the world can't shake you. And that, my friend, is a superpower. Reactions shape reality. Here's a truth that very few people ever realize. What happens to you matters far less than how you react to it. Your reactions don't just respond to reality, they create it. They build the story you live in. They define who you are becoming, moment by moment, decision by decision. Every day, life hands you situations you didn't ask for. The rude comment, the missed opportunity, the unexpected loss. These things are real, but the mistake people make over and over is thinking that those events control their outcomes. They don't. It's your reaction that sets everything in motion. It's your reaction that becomes the seed of your next reality. Think about it. Two people face the same failure. One shuts down, gives up, blames the world. The other reflects, learns, grows stronger. Same event, totally different lives. Because the first person let the event write their future. The second person rewrote their story through choice, through power, through ownership. And that's the difference between drifting through life and driving it. You can't always control the situation, but you always control your frame, your attitude, your response. And that response, even if it's just one breath long, is the moment of truth, the fork in the road. It's where your future is decided, not by fate, but by you. Reactions are powerful because they ripple. One calm response in a heated room changes the entire tone. One bold response to fear opens the door to a new opportunity. One loving response to conflict saves a relationship. Every reaction is a vote for the person you're becoming. But here's the catch. Your reactions aren't random, they're rehearsed, built over time, programmed by your habits, your mindset, your emotional discipline. If you constantly react with anger, doubt, fear, you've trained that into yourself. And the good news, you can untrain it. You can reprogram it. Start by owning your reactions. Watch them. Don't let them sneak up on you. If you feel triggered, pause. That pause is power. It's the space where transformation happens. Because in that space, you can choose a better response. This is where greatness is born, in the space between stimulus and response. That's where leaders rise, relationships heal, and dreams stay alive, because someone somewhere chose not to react with emotion, but with intention. Imagine living a life where you're not tossed around by every insult, setback, or unexpected twist. Imagine being the calm in every storm, the clarity in every crisis. That kind of life isn't reserved for the lucky. It's created by those who choose their reactions carefully. You don't need to control the world. You just need to control your world, your reactions, your attitude, your energy. So the next time life throws something at you, stop, breathe. Remember, this isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. And your reaction right here, right now, is your power. React with strength. Respond with grace. Decide with purpose. Because you're not just responding to life, you're shaping it every single time. Discipline over emotion. Let's talk about something that separates the dreamers from the doers, the talented from the unstoppable, the people who talk from the people who build. Discipline over emotion. Because here's the brutal truth. Your emotions will lie to you every single day. Your emotions will tell you to quit when things get hard. They'll whisper that you're not good enough, not ready, not strong enough. And if you listen to them without question, they'll steal everything you were born to create. But discipline tells the truth. Discipline shows up whether you feel like it or not. It doesn't care about your mood, your excuses, your fears. It shows up because that's what greatness requires. Every legend, every icon, every person who's ever done something truly extraordinary, they didn't get there by feeling their way to the top. They got there by mastering themselves. And that begins with putting discipline above emotion. Now don't get me wrong, emotions are powerful. They're part of what makes you human. They can fuel passion, connect you to others, and even guide you when used correctly. But emotions are temporary. Discipline is permanent. Emotion is the wind. It comes and goes. Discipline is the sail. It decides where you're headed. No matter the storm, there will be days when you don't feel like showing up. Days when fear is louder than faith. Days when laziness feels more attractive than purpose. And those days, those exact moments, are the defining one, because anyone can move forward when they're motivated. But the real winners are the ones who move forward without it. You see, the mind is like a muscle. If you train it to obey emotion, it will. If you train it to follow discipline, it will. Every time you act despite fear, push through resistance, rise above doubt, you're carving strength into your character. You're building a foundation so solid that no feeling, no failure, no frustration can shake it. This is about emotional maturity. It's about understanding that feelings are visitors. They come and go. But your mission, that's sacred. That's not up for debate based on whether or not you feel inspired today. Your goals deserve more than a mood swing. Discipline says, I don't wait to feel ready. I make myself ready. Discipline says, I don't react to the noise in my head. I respond to the voice of my purpose. Discipline says, I do the work. Tired, scared, uncertain. Because the vision matters more than the emotion of the moment. Look around. The people you admire, the ones you wish you could emulate, they built their lives on discipline, not comfort, not hype, not emotion. Discipline. They trained themselves to rise again and again, no matter how they felt. And that's exactly why they stand where they stand. So you've got to make a decision right here, right now. Who's in charge? Your fleeting emotions or your unwavering discipline? If you choose discipline, your future becomes unstoppable. Your potential becomes activated. You start to move with power instead of permission. And in a world full of people waiting to feel right before they act, you'll already be 10 steps ahead. Stillness breeds clarity. We live in a world that never stops, a world that praises the hustle, the grind, the noise. We wake up to notifications, rush into the day, and go to sleep with a mind racing like a freight train. And we wonder why we feel lost, why we feel overwhelmed, why we're stuck in confusion, burnout, and indecision. The answer is simple. We've forgotten how to be still. Stillness isn't lazy. It's not avoidance. It's not weakness. Stillness is a skill, and not just any skill. It's the foundation of clarity, creativity, and true inner strength. Because in stillness, something magical happens. The noise fades, the pressure dissolves, the chaos pauses, just long enough for you to hear the voice that matters most, your own. You see, clarity doesn't come from rushing. It doesn't come from doing more, forcing answers, or chasing 10 things at once. Clarity comes when you create space, when you quiet the mental traffic, when you stop reacting to everything and start listening. The most powerful decisions you'll ever make won't come from stress. They won't come from panic or pressure. They'll come from a place of calm, collected knowing, and that only comes from stillness. Let's be real. Your mind is constantly pulling at you. What if I fail? What will they think? Should I go left or right? And in that mental tug of war, you lose sight of what truly matters. But when you step into stillness, even for a moment, the answers begin to rise. Not because they weren't there before, but because you finally made room for them to be heard. Think about the greatest breakthroughs in history. They didn't come from someone panicking in a rush. They came from thinkers who knew how to pause, to reflect, to go inward. Whether it was Steve Jobs meditating in silence, Einstein walking in nature, or athletes closing their eyes to visualize the next move, stillness wasn't a luxury, it was a strategy, and it can be yours too. Stillness doesn't mean sitting in a cave for hours. It means creating intentional moments in your day where you disconnect from the world, from the noise, from the demands, and reconnect with your direction. It's 10 deep breaths before a big meeting. It's walking without your phone. It's journaling your thoughts instead of drowning in them. It's giving yourself permission to slow down so you can speed up in the right direction. Because if you're constantly moving without reflection, you're not progressing, you're just spinning, you're running in circles, and nothing is more exhausting than motion without meaning. Stillness realigns you, it sharpens your instincts, it puts your feet back on solid ground when life feels like a whirlwind, and in that space, clarity is born, vision comes alive, confidence returns. This world will reward those who move fast, yes, but it will remember those who moved with purpose, with precision, with clarity. And that kind of clarity doesn't come from the crowd, it comes from the quiet. So make space for stillness. Train yourself to pause, to listen, to reconnect. It's not a break from the work, it is the work. And when you master stillness, you don't just survive,